Luring in RuneScape. Seems like a foreign concept to most of us, or you would think that no idiot would even fall for this in 2022, but you're wrong. Some lures make $100,000 a year, befriending people and eventually manipulating them into stealing their items without any effort. A guy reached out to me by the name of Cowie, and at first he told me he found it really interesting learning about the dark arts of RuneScape. I asked him if he didn't know much about the black market, and to my surprise, he said no, I actually know quite a lot. We then went into an hour-long conversation about luring in RuneScape, and he gave me a ton of evidence and information on lures. He himself isn't a lurer. In fact, he's gotten lured before and wants to prevent other players from losing their bank the same way he did. He's gotten lured twice. The first time he lost his bank, and the second time he knew exactly how the lure went, so he just played along with them. At the end of the lure, he just told them it was a good lure, and he ended up befriending the lure, and with that he got access to the luring Discord. He then reached out to me and sent me a ton of evidence and loot pics. So thank you, Cowie. And actually, I'm learning to lure as well. Look, a T-bow in the distance! All you gotta do is like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Come on, I know you want that T-bow. So I asked Cowie how he got acquainted with these lures, and he told me he got lured for 50 mil, an infinity robe set plus a lot of items. He told me the pain he felt when he lost his bank, grinding for months on end and losing it all in 5 seconds. From people who don't even play the game. It's complete BS. So when he was getting lured the second time, he was a lot more prepared and understanding of what they would do. And at the end of the lure, he just told them he was messing with them. And surprisingly, they became friends. So he was invited access to the luring Discord. There, he sent me loads of evidence and proof of how these lures go through, and he even showed me some insane loot pics. For example, look how many clients he has open. He has 12 clients open, scouting and waiting at places where players would be. And he even showed me some insane loot pics. Look at the timestamps, 338, 542, 709. In 4 hours, he made 2.5 billion GP. Or this other loot photo where he made almost 2 bill, also in a day. But I think what's more interesting is how they get their victims. See this photo right here? Venezuelans go on alt accounts and they get paid per ad. What does this mean? So these Venezuelans, they go to the GE and they befriend people who look like they're wearing a lot of expensive items. Then they ask their victim a random question, or if they could buy items for them at the GE because they've hit their GE limit. If the player complies and they help them, they just say, hey man, thank you, add me, and then they add them, and they just keep them on their friends list for weeks and months. So then the lure logs into the account and he has a full friends list full of victims and people he could lure. It's quite crazy really how in-depth these lures go and how they get their victims. So after about a week, a Venezuelan can easily get 50 to 100 people on their friends list, and when the lurer logs into that account, he has a potential of 50 to 100 victims he can lure. How crazy is that? That is so in-depth and so complex that they have a process for getting their victims and playing the long-term game. I'm honestly in utter disbelief. He then told me in the luring Discord, he actually shows his lures live on screen. And of course I had to ask, can you invite me to the Discord? And he asked the owner, and the owner obviously said no, but the owner also sent him this. He'll let me watch him if I pay $20,000. So of course, I took out my bank account and I wired him $20,000. He sent me a YouTube video of a compilation of players getting lured using the Pharaoh Scepter. And it's honestly such a simple lure. It's a one-click teleport to a place in the desert, and what they do is they get you to hop to a PvP world, and they tell you it's for a video, and they give you an outfit, and then they give you the Pharaoh Scepter. They then tell you to put on the outfit, and you put on the robes, and then once you click the Pharaoh Scepter, you get teleported to a danger zone in the desert. There they have an account waiting for you, ready to rush you and kill you with all your items on you. I think it's so easy to not fall for these lures, and yet they manage to make so much money. It really doesn't make sense. So much money, in fact, that it makes more than most 9-to-5s. This guy lives in Europe, but he makes $100,000 USD a year luring, which means there is a continuous supply of victims constantly coming in. The second way they get you is they befriend you on disc and they try to anti-lure you're anti-lure. Let me explain. So at first they manage to add you on Disc, they start talking you up in chat, and they become friends. And then when they get you on Discord, they tell you they're about to get lured, but in reality, they're trying to lure you. How does this work? At first they tell you this lure has reached out to them at the GE, and he's going to try to anti-lure these lures. When he's in a PvP world with them, he then says, they've dropped a spectral, they've dropped a whip, yo, help me pick it up. And you thinking, this guy's on my side, maybe I should help him, maybe I should get that spectral, maybe I should get that whip. So to your surprise, a random lure comes up to you, I know, such a coincidence, and asks you to help them with a video, and they tell you to bank all their stuff. Then once they get you in a PvP world, they'll drop a whip and a spectral spirit shield, but they'll drop the whip directly under you and the spirit shield 2 tiles away from you. So you'll pick up the whip right away, and they'll be able to pick up the spectral spirit shield, which will make it seem like it's possible to get the spectral spirit shield. And you'll tell the lure on Discord, yo, I got the whip, I have the whip. And the lure will say, yo, let's get the spectral. And you're thinking, yeah, why not? Let's get the spectral. So then the lurer will tell you to get your most expensive items and then trade them. The person you're on Discord with will say, just don't leave the safe zone and you'll be fine. And obviously your greed sets in and you're thinking, heck yeah, we can get a free spectral and I will not get killed as long as I don't leave the safe zone. So what they'll do is, once they see you have all your items without any food or potions, they'll say, trade me. They'll trade stall you so you'll move into a danger zone, or they'll trade you and stand directly under you, so once you click trade back, you get moved into a danger zone. While you're anti-luring them, they're anti-luring your anti-lure. Guys, make sure to follow my RuneScape short stories, where I post a new short story every 2 weeks based on a character named Oseus, who is pitted in the world of Gillinor. If you want to send me tip-offs of any black market or botting information, send it to this email. Now this lure is the most predatory, and regardless of game mechanics, you will die to this. But I got this lure from this YouTuber named Will. How they get you is they reach out to you wearing max gear and a max cape, and they ask you if you know how to raid, or they ask you to be a raiding partner. Obviously, you're going to say yes if they're wearing max gear. It just seems to make sense. What they do is, they get you on a Discord call, and they do a couple raids with you. Then they ask you what plugins you're using. They're then going to recommend you this overpowered Cox plugin that they use themselves. And when you see the settings, the interface looks super overpowered, and it looks like it's going to make raiding so much easier. But when you turn it on, it'll turn your screen black, instant log you into a non+1 PvP world. There, they'll be waiting to spec you out while you're wearing your best gear. Here's a screenshot of Will's friend losing 1.6 bill to this plugin lure. But to be fair, this player lost his items because he was using OpenOSRS. If he was using RuneLite, he would not be able to get access to these plugins. So I think that's on him. The next thing is super interesting. It's an auto teleblock bot. It used to work at the Duel Arena, but ever since they added safe zones to the Duel Arena, it now resides in Miscellanea. The bot just waits at Miscellanea for hours and hours, and they wait for people to misclick their Ring of Wealth teleport to Miscellanea instead of the Grand Exchange. On the exact tick it sees someone teleport to Miscellanea, it automatically teleblocks the user. This is so broken because it removes any human error and replaces any human if they were away from their screen. It automatically teleblocks it, and once it sees a 95 EXP drop, which is the XP drop for a successful teleblock, its second move is to entangle the person and then notify the PKer. So the PKer will get on the account and finish the rest off. So I know luring is quite rampant today. A few mechanical changes in the game, and you can drop luring by over 90%. It's just switch the Pharaoh Scepter teleport or add a toggleable warning option to it. That way if a player clicks it, he either equips it or there's a warning option saying that he'll be teleported to a different area. The second thing is, have a do not hop to PvP option the same way you have PK skull prevention, and add a wealth threshold so it will not hop if you're risking over X amount of wealth. And the only way to turn it on and off is to enter your pin. So even if they get you with that Cox plugin, they won't be able to hop to a PvP world because they don't have your pin. Remove all trade stalls. I mean all of them. The book trade stall has been in the game for years, and I don't know why they haven't removed it yet. If you remove all stalls, then players can't trade you and force move you into a danger zone. But you can even provide a toggleable warning option when you accept a trade from someone who is standing directly on your tile. And this is just to prevent you from being moved into a danger zone. And last thing is, increase the safe zones for one tile safe spots in PvP worlds. The reason why a lot of these players get lured is because they get lured in a one tile safe spot. So even if they move one tile, they can easily die. All you have to do is just extend the safe spot a tiny bit, and this will prevent players from dying easily. Listen, even if all of this were to be implemented, you can still get lured. But these mechanics would remove 99% of luring in the game easily. And the only reason why these lures still work is because they work with the game mechanics, not against them. So if you change the game mechanics slightly, luring will be a lot less rampant, making the game healthier for everybody else.